Hey, good morning, guys. Hope things are going well for you. You're enjoying the show. So today we are going to talk about what's happening in the wonderful world of hardware infrastructure, right? So for some of you who don't know us, how many of you know Supermicro? That's good. For the folks who don't know who we are, what we do, probably I think the OpenStack committee, when they designed their T-shirt logo this time, they did it right. So for all the guys who do the coding sitting in a Starbucks with a frappe in hand and never visited the data center or the labs where the systems are housed, we are the guys that build the infrastructure. It's an end-to-end solution, compute, storage, and network with the software pre-installed at the factory. Having said that, a little bit about Supermicro, right? Before we get into how we are relevant for you, what we are trying to do to solve your problems. Supermicro is a publicly traded company with headquarters in California and with a run rate of 3 billion plus. And it has a global footprint with regional headquarters in Netherlands as well as in Taipei, Taiwan. And as you can see, a lot of the profits we are kind of reinvesting into R&D to make high performance compute, network, and storage products in a socially responsible way that kind of helps the environment too. Evolution, 25 years ago, 1994, around 25, we started our journey with a motherboard. We designed our own motherboard, right? So that means you get the latest and the best in the technology. Now, 2018, we are an end-to-end solution provider for many of our customers, whether you're looking at HPC, retail, manufacturing, all these different verticals. Having said that, let's come back to your problems, why you are here, right? It's not about us, it's about you. As when we talk to you guys, when we talk to you, our customers, you have been telling us clearly. Year over year, your requirements for your compute, storage, and bandwidth are going up by 30 to 40%, right? 30 to 40% year over year. But unfortunately, your infrastructure budget is not keeping pace with that rate. And in fact, in many cases, like you said, your budget is shrinking. So what do we do? How do we solve this? So 6 years ago, in order to kind of scale for either your public or private environments, we looked at it, and the way to solve this problem is to make it more modular, right? Instead of doing a one-use systems and piling up, in order to save the real estate space, we said, we can make this whole thing modular, which means there will be independent systems, but they'll be housed in a same chassis sharing the power supply. That's the twin architecture together with our technology partner, Intel, that we started. And probably, how many of you guys recognize this one? That is our 2U 4-node Twin Pro Square. This is a system that defined the hyperconvergence infrastructure movement 6 years ago, right? Many of the hyperconvergence companies that you recognize, have used this and still use it. And this has been the workhorse of the hyperconvergence. If you look at it, 4 nodes in a 2U form factor, which means we are not taking up a lot of space. Space is at a premium in your data centers. We all realize that. And one more thing, this architecture solves the problem that comes with the blades, which has a backplane. In this one, each of the nodes is independent, but they're housed in the same chassis, and they share the power supply. That's the only thing that they share, right? And as you can see, we have Skylake, and the storage, we have the Environm. We can do SATA, and we can do SSD. And like I said, this went on to become the face of hyperconvergence, and pretty much it found its home in all the tier 2, tier 3 disaster recovery environments. But many of you customers told us very clearly that, you know what, we can do better. There is still the tier 1 mission critical where your memory applications require a lot more memory, right, and a lot more compute. And this is the one, the twin of that twin pro square, the latest and greatest big twin. As you can see in this one, of course, we use the Xeon Skylake processors in this one, getting up all the way to 205 watts. But more importantly, it's an all NVMe solution, right? And like you said, for your high density memory applications, you need more memory. This one, each node can take up to 3 terabytes of memory. Yes, 3 terabytes of memory per node. So if you're deploying it, it's like 4 nodes, across 4 nodes, it'll be 12 terabytes. So you have number of cores gone up. The memory, obviously it can fit any of the memory, high memory applications, 3 terabytes per node. And then it has all NVMe so that you can speed up your applications. Apart from that, this also has the SIOM slot. That is an acronym for Supermicro I/O module. As you can see, still in many of the installations, many of the data centers, the compute is in a silo, networking in a silo, storage is in a silo. And networking, some of the networking is still stuck at 10 gig or 1 gig, and then there is 2540 coming up. With this one, we made it more flexible for you. That way it can range from 1 gigabit per second all the way to 100, 125, 50, 100, right? So what it really means is tomorrow if your networking were to catch up and they're at 40 gig or 25 gig or 100 gig, you don't have to change your infrastructure at the compute level. It's more flexible, it's already there, right? So that is how we solve the problem of modularity, right? Twin architecture, you get it in 2U, 2 node, 2U 4 node, 4U 4 node, 4U 8 node, and a lot more. And then this is our ultra system for the folks who don't like the twin architecture but still want to look at the high performance 1U systems or 2U systems. This is the one we have. And then we have the super blade and the microblade portfolio. But look at it, did we really solve the other problem? Because when you look at it, the processor technology is changing, your applications are demanding a lot more, your budget is not increasing. Every 18 months to 24 months, there is new processor technology coming in, right, and the new memory technology. But unfortunately, you don't have the budget to kind of keep up with the refresh cycle of a processor, right? That leaves you with 2 options, which is either go back to your CIO, ask for more money, or suck it up and then say, you know what, this is all I can do, let my applications struggle for a while until I get the money to refresh the entire infrastructure. We looked at it, we can do better. Because when you kind of refresh, say at the end of the 3 years or 5 years, yeah, probably some of the components are not able to keep up, but there are a lot of other components in the system that still have a useful life. Say, for example, the power supplies, the power cables, the I/O, probably your disk drives or the SSDs or the Environm, right? So why do you want to throw away perfectly functioning components which still have a useful life for just upgrading your processor technology, right? So for that, we worked together with Intel and we came up with this disaggregated architecture. Remember the whole theme, it's a modular, divide and conquer, make it much more modular. That way you can swap out the components without disrupting the entire infrastructure at the data center level. So this is taking it to the next level, disaggregating your CPU and the DRAM, right? It is a module. So the next time the new processor technology comes in, all you need to do is to put in the new module which has a new processor and the DRAM, and you don't have to affect any of the other components, whether you're looking at the I/O or you're looking at your networking, everything is still there, right? So what does it mean to you? Well, basically, you don't have to wait for another 5 years until your CIO or the CTO or the CFO opens up his purse strings, right? So you're kind of making it at a smaller increments, granular increments, and you're upgrading as and when you need, instead of doing a wholesale upgrade. And more importantly, if you are socially responsible and environmentally friendly, like what we are trying to be, you're not adding to the e-waste, you're reducing the e-waste. If you're not that socially responsible, you don't care, let me dump it, but still it has more value to you. From the financial perspective is one thing, you are not kind of making a wholesale upgrade, so you're not forking out a lot more money. And then you're saving a lot on the shipping cost, which is you're not shipping the entire rack or the system, but more like smaller modules. And then you're not engaging your networking guy to come and recable everything. You're not engaging your storage guy to kind of come and do everything. So you're just engaging resources at a much smaller scale as and when you require, right? So this is something which is not empty talk. This is something which is being deployed today. So if you walk into a data center at Intel facility in Santa Clara, you will see almost 75,000 plus nodes of the blades being deployed with this technology. It's disaggregate technology. So how many of you guys heard about composable architecture? This is the one which is in action, right? And the savings are huge in all aspects. You are saving on the technology front, on your manpower front, on the shipping, and more importantly, you're not throwing away components and other pieces which still have a useful life. That was one of the things that we brought, the innovation that we brought in. So the second innovation that really is near and dear to you is how can we speed up the whole process, the compute and the storage, so that whatever application, whatever VM or whatever containers you're spinning will be done before you finish your latte or a frap, right? So that is what the NVMe technology does. 8.5 million plus IOPS, right? It's lowering the latency, increasing the number of IOPS it can service, all at a very economical price factor, right? So Supermicro was the forefront of NVMe technology 4 years ago when Intel kind of announced it. Intel launched it at the IDF, I think it was 2015. I still remember that day. We were the ones, we had the systems, right? And we challenged our customers to go do hot swap and NVMe. So all the technology that you see today, all the line of different products that we carry with NVMe, they're hot swappable, right? And this is the latest one that we're showing at our booth. It's a 1U JBOF, and if you were to make a guess, I think it's a giveaway if you're looking at the slides, if you're watching me, then it is more like it will get you up to 1 petabyte. 1 petabyte of storage in a 1U form factor, never heard of, right? And more importantly, it offers you the flexibility of different form factors. If you're looking at a U.2, we have a U.2. If you are into M.2 form factor, we have an M.2 form factor. And if you are into the ruler technology from Intel, which is a smaller sleds, which is like a 11 point something inches in length, that is more portable, we have that one too. So you have flexibility in the form factor in terms of the U.2, M.2, or a ruler. And more importantly, it is condensed into 1U form factor, which is a huge space savings, right? And the next iteration of it will have also the CPU on it. So that way, if you're using it as part of the pooling of NVMe or Fabric and all those things in SDS applications, you have some amount of cores because of the dual CPU that is going to be resident on it that kind of help you manage these the different NVMe disks. Apart from that, today if you were to use it, you can use it with our Rocky. That's one way you can connect, or the other way is the SDS. So what is in it for you? I know you guys never venture out into that cool, dark place called the data center. I respect you like the comfort of your patio or your Starbucks coffee, right, or the cafe. So what it really means to you is we took the hassle out of everything from you. It's a complete solution. The reference architecture has been certified if you are with Canonical, or if you like the Red Hat distribution, or if you're into SUSE or Mirantis. We have all our lines of products certified with this one. We have the reference architecture. So you can just buy it, you can wheel it in and deploy it. So what it really means is take the hassle out of you. There will be no finger pointing. Tomorrow, if something were to go wrong for some unknown reason, I don't think it will. But if it does, the partner will stand right next to us and say, yeah, we'll take care of it. It's our problem. So that's the guarantee. That's a peace of mind that you get. Having said that, for many of you guys, it's all global now. Pretty much you have different locations, and service and support is very important for you. So we have global service and support, right, wherever you are. Sometimes it's our own Supermicro employees, or sometimes it is our contracted guys, but they're all certified to kind of service and make you kind of operational in a timely manner. Having said that, why Supermicro? Because we do understand you got a lot of choices when it comes to x86 architecture. All I said here, nothing of it is proprietary, but we design our own motherboards, and that gives us a leg up in the entire vertical chain, because we design our motherboards and we manufacture it at our location in San Jose, right behind our design center. So that feedback loop is also much shorter. So why Supermicro? Like I said, we always take pride in bringing the next generation technology to you today. We are not the ones who try to milk our products much longer. Let's kind of stretch it. Let's kind of stretch our Broadwell processors a little bit more. Let's kind of stretch our Haswell. No. All our product line has been refreshed to Skylake, right? When they announced it, pretty much we had more than 100 SKUs available. And we provide the best performance per dollar, per watt. Like I said, because of our twin technology and the sharing of the power supplies, it's much more efficient. And since we kind of design our own motherboards, we pay a lot of attention to design it in such a way that it is much more thermally efficient. And because of our twin architecture, condensed form factor, say 2U or 4U, we are much more competitive when it comes to per square foot also, because we are not taking a huge footprint. And we are the first to market. That way, you can stretch your investment a little bit longer. Your refresh cycle can be a little bit longer, right? And with our new disaggregated technology, you can kind of upgrade when and where you want in smaller increments, rather than doing a wholesale upgrade for rip and replace. Another way we differentiate is fully customizable, like all the solutions I talked about with all the partners. Each one of them is customizable, because we do understand that no one size fits all. And more importantly, with the shrinking IT budget, it is very important that we right size the solution for a year. So that is what you get. And obviously, lower TCO when you add all of this thing together. And more importantly, you get the peace of mind that it has been certified, validated, and pre-tested. That way, there is someone to stand by, right by it. And we have the global service and support. Like I said, broadest server portfolio, many choices, no one size fits all. Your requirements are all different, use cases different. So we have pretty much everything to cover for that. Having said that, we have a booth up there, B9. Come visit us. You can see all these different technologies that I talked about in action there. And if you have any questions, I can take the questions right now. Or if you want to come and visit us and later on, that's perfectly okay too. And my colleague here, Wayne Lowe, will pass out some of the material on a USB stick for you. And that's for your giveaway. Thank you, folks. Once again, really appreciate your time, and have a good show.